Namaste, everyone. Welcome to class. Checking in with yourself. How are you feeling? Just ask. And then just making our seat comfortable to start. So making sure you have your legs propped up if they're hanging in space. You have a nice tall spine lifting out of the pelvic basket. Your neck is erect and soft. Your shoulders are soft. Your hands can just be relaxed on your legs or in your lap, whatever feels best. And then either taking a soft gaze or letting the eyes close for a moment. We're going to open this morning with the bowl. Three touches of the bowl, just allowing the sound. I'm not sure how it will be on Zoom, but allowing a sound to get to your inner core and brighten your space. Sound. Becoming aware of the sense of touch, your body touching the floor. Becoming aware of the sense of sight, even with your eyes closed, envisioning something, or just taking a glance out for a moment. The sense of taste, saliva in your mouth, the last drop of tea you may have had this morning. Sense of smell. Maybe you have incense or just the smell of the room. Bringing all the five senses online. That's how we inform ourselves. So working through the senses, letting manas, our recording faculty, our mind, bringing your awareness into your mind. Picking a memory, maybe just what time you woke up. And then project that memory forward with your cosmic intelligence. What time would you like to wake up tomorrow? Just bringing yourself into the recognition that you are whole, you are complete, you are one with the universe. Bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali. Finding an intention for your practice this morning, a sankalpa, and repeating that intention to yourself 3 times. And then letting that intention slip out of your mind, down into your heart space. We'll bring it back at the end of class. And just feeling into your body. Imagine the air coming in through the breath, moving all the way out to all of the extremities, the top of the head, the touch of the toes, tips of the fingers. Feel yourself expanding like a balloon until it's necessary that this air seeps out of the pores beyond you and you begin to occupy a little bit of space beyond the body. And then allowing yourself to be this big during the practice today. Going beyond your body, beyond the physical restrictions, into sukshma, into the subtleness of the body. And then very, very gently, on an inhale, begin to flutter your eyes open. Interlace the fingers, and then press the arms away. Press the hands out, Draw the shoulders back. Set them firmly, shoulder blades firmly set on your back. Good. And then open the arms. Resist as if you were pressing against air until you get all the way back. Find your hands there, interlace, squeeze the knuckles toward the floor. Opening shoulder blades, make kiss in the back. Then releasing gently the hands. We're going to come back through pressing air. We're going to take the weird interlace, the one we didn't take the first time. Just push away. Let the shoulder blades slip off and then set them back and down. Again, pressing hard, hard, press, press. Taking the other interlace behind us. And again, squeezing the knuckles, opening the heart space, opening the chest. Good, and then release. Just resting your hands on your legs or in your lap. Good. So just a moment with our head and our neck. We're holding so much tension right now in our neck and our head region. My neck is where I get cold in the morning, so I always wrap my neck. Good. So keeping your neck long for just a moment, just allowing your ear to drop towards your shoulder. Right ear into your shoulder. Don't force it, just let it go that little bit. And then we're going to gently, very gently, with our right arm, just put a tiny bit more weight, tiny, tiny, tiny. And then extend your left arm out. Tiny bit of weight. And then letting your right arm slip over to the other side of your head. From there, press your head back up and release the arm. Good. And then dropping the other ear toward the shoulder. Good. Just letting it be. Your face is front and forward, not down, not up. We're working on the big muscles here where we hold a lot of tension. And then with your left hand, just that little tiny bit of weight, not much. Be gentle. And then reach the arm out. Reach, reach. Tiny bit more of pressure with the left hand. Tiny bit. And then letting your left hand slip to the other side of your head and use that hand to press yourself back up, releasing the arm, both arms releasing. And then for a moment, just taking our hands behind our neck, take your thumbs to the front, press your thumbs into your collarbone and your hands back behind. And then slowly keep your head forward. Take your gaze over to the right. Take it toward 3 o'clock, as far as you can take it to 3, but don't let your head travel. That's why we have our hands here, is to hold our head firmly. Breathe. Bring the gaze back to the center. Don't let your head travel. And then take your gaze over to 9 o'clock. And then gaze back into the center. And then while we have our hands there, just slip them down a little bit and let your chin come up toward the ceiling. And then drawing your chin with your own power down toward your neck, but do it slowly, slowly, slowly. Come back into neutral one more time. Hold the traps down with your hands. Gazing up. And coming back one more time through neutral. Tuck the chin into the chest. Push the traps down. And into neutral, and then release. Good. So we'll do our leg warm-ups from our kneeling pose. So gently coming into kneeling. Hands underneath your shoulders. Wrist underneath your shoulders, more specifically. Wrist underneath your shoulders, fingers out in front. And then knees right underneath the hips. So all you're going to do is take your left leg and make some circles, small circles. Other direction. And then release it. And now your right leg, some circles. Other direction. And release it. And then opening our left leg out to the side, kind of like a puppy dog at a fire hydrant. And then reach the leg out. Draw the leg back in and lower it. And then other side, puppy pose on the other side. Straighten the leg. Rebend the leg and release it. Good. And then with your left leg, just a little back and forth, like a pendulum, letting the thigh swing back and forth. Release it. Right leg, pendulum. And release it. And then coming up onto our knees for a moment, getting a little external rotation. So go ahead and externally rotate your right leg. Just notice where it is. Hips are facing forward. It's out in front of your body, unless you happen to be Cirque du Soleil material, where your hip is out here even. But for most of us, it's out to the front, and our hips are square. So notice this rotation on your body while you're in this kneeling pose. This is your rotation for triangle, for side angle, for warrior. This is warrior 2. This is your external rotation. So just notice it. Be there. And then slide the foot out for a moment. Just sliding the foot out. Flex the foot, toes back towards you. For just a moment, we're going to close a gate. So open up the top of the gate. And as you exhale, close the gate and inhale. Exhale, close the gate. So we're taking a nice little curve to our whole left side. And one more. Good, hands into the heart. And then walk that leg back in gently. Release it. And now let's externally rotate the left leg. Place the heel right underneath your knee. And then look out and make sure your knee and your second and third toes are headed out in the same direction. I never say big toe because of shoes. We have them so malformed, so many of us. So check in with your second toe and knee headed in the same direction. Externally rotating at the hip joint. Good, so just be there for a moment. Notice, oh, this is my external rotation on the left side. It's different than the right side, probably. Just breathing and noticing, relaxing into this space. And then walking the foot out, so still externally rotated, flex the toes back toward you. Go ahead and raise the arms up overhead. And then close the gate. Let the whole of the right side curve gently. And up. Exhale. Curve. And up. Exhale. Curve. And up. Last one. Exhale. Curve. And up. Beautiful. Hands into the heart. Bend your knee. Foot is nice and solid. Right under the knee. And then replace it. Good. Feeling nice and even. So we're going to come through chair pose for a moment. But first we're going to go back into a little toe balance. So for just a moment, just sitting on my heels. Just a little bit of a toe balance, pushing into the ball of the foot. The toes are facing forward. Breathing. And then we're going to put our hands down and take our knees off and our bottoms up into Hasta Padasana, hand to foot pose, forward fold. But we're going to do it with very bent knees. Okay? So hands to the floor. Release your knees off the floor. And then begin to take your bottom up. And then walk your feet, bend your knees as much as you need to, and be for a moment in ragdoll. Let your upper torso relax. And then begin to engage the body as you start to look forward. Keep your bottom low. We're going to take that seat in the chair and reach our arms out parallel to the floor. And then exhale up. Inhale, have a seat. And exhale up. Inhale, have a seat. And exhale up. Now let's change our breath pattern for just a moment. See what difference you notice. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, take a seat. Inhale, arms up, shoulder height. And exhale all the way. Inhale. Exhale, take a seat. Inhale. Exhale, up. Inhale. Exhale, take a seat. Inhale. Exhale, up. Good. Release the arms. Close your eyes. Take 5, 6, 7 breaths. Soften your body to the bone for a moment. Relaxing the pelvic floor, the belly, the shoulders, the jaw. And with this little respite of the breath, softening muscle to bone. I'm competing with a puppy in the neighborhood. And currently only he is talking. Good, and then on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open, begin to engage muscle to bone, lift the pelvic floor, draw in the belly, zip up the tight G's, shoulders placed firmly, down, neck is long, spine is lifted. Raise your toes for a moment. And then drape the toes down gently. Good. So we're going to do tree pose, but I want you to be creative. I want you to do not a traditional tree. Here we have this wonderful tree called Chipilim, which grows all kinds of weird ways like that. So I want your tree to be on one side. If you'd like a wall, hold on to the wall. Find yourself nice and stable. Let's shift the weight the first time over to the left side. Begin to peel up the right heel. Take your right leg off for a moment. Wherever you are, hands or no hands. Good. And then envision your tree. Find your drishti, your gazing spot, something above the screen that's not me. I move, I may fall. And then slowly, any kind of weird tree branches you might like to form. Make your tree. Breathe. Hold the muscle to the bone. Pull your belly in. Breathe into the chest. Keep your focus. Look at your focus. Gaze. And on your next inhale, get really big. And walk it out. Good. I'm going to prepare you mentally. We walked it out between, but at the end, we're going to be still, very still at the end of the next one. Okay? We're going to sit with those uncomfortable movements. So now shifting the weight over to the right side. Peel up the left heel. Lift the foot off the floor for just a moment. Have a wall there if you'd like it. Find your drishti, find your gazing spot. You may have a completely different tree on this side. As you're ready, make your tree. Listen to the puppy, keep him stable. And then on your next inhale, get really big. And then find Tadasana and be still. Relax, belly, pelvic floor, breath, shoulders, jaw. Letting everything relax. And then let's re-engage. Re-engage, re-engage pelvic floor, re-engage belly. Ribs come in. That's where you're going to breathe them out. Take ourselves nice and big and wide. The standing poses are so good to keep us balanced throughout our day. They ground us. They require that stability, that grounding. They help us to remove any postural abnormalities. So our bow-legged, our slew-footed, over time, these standing poses work with that. So right now, make sure your heels and your second and third toes are in the same direction toward me. And then hinging right at the hip, take the whole torso over with you. Gaze at the floor. Put your hands for a moment on your sit bones. And then press into your heels and the outside arch of your feet. And open your sit bones a little wider to the sides. On your next exhale, begin to surrender toward the floor, just letting go. Walk your hands down your legs. Wherever they get to is perfect. Behind your knees, on your calves, at your ankles, on your toes. Anywhere is perfect. Release your head, crown of the head toward the floor. And then begin to gaze forward. Find that long spine again. Press into your feet, like the base of the body. Ground you completely. Look for that parallel line of your spine to the floor. You may need a chair or a block or something to press into here. You may be a little taller than me. That's fine. Whatever it takes to get your spine long and no curves, except the natural curves. No hunching, better said. Press into your feet on an exhale and come up. Good. We're going to externally rotate the left leg. That took your whole pelvic basket a little bit toward the left, rightfully so. But keep the whole right groin open. As you bend the knee, stack it over the ankle, and open into Warrior Two. Notice the same space you had when you were kneeling. So your arm and your trunk and everything will be behind that front knee. Gazing out over your fingers. Spine is erect. Arch your gaze and your chin up and take it over your right hand. Good. And then bringing both arms up overhead. Begin to straighten the leg. And then find a long diagonal line. No more. You can release your arms to your heart if it's adds too much weight. You can release your arms to your hips, but keep your whole spine open. And then we're going to gently bend the left knee. and find ourselves in side angle. You can take your left hand and place it on somewhere along your thigh, but don't droop into it. Keep yourself upright, tall, energized. If you like, you can take both arms back overhead, or to your chest, or to your waist, or to Namaskar. Straighten the knee again. Let's come upright. Unrotate. Kick that left heel out a little bit more as we externally rotate now to the right. Go ahead and bring your hands into your heart, wherever you have them. Great. And then we're going to lean, lean, lean until we get that diagonal line. Just see it in yourself. Good. And then come back. Bend the knee. Notice you're not in a diagonal line. There's no leaning. And those who would like, our arms are going to come up as we again find that diagonal line. Arms up, Namaskar to your waist, to your hips, wherever you would like. Let's straighten the leg and bend it. Straighten the leg and bend it. Don't take the knee past your ankle. Straighten the knee and bend it. Good. So in your side angle for just a moment, arms overhead, arms at the heart, hands on the legs, wherever you'd like, just not collapsing into that right leg. Good. Come back up to Warrior Two. Take your gaze out over your right hand. And then arc your chin and gaze out over your left hand. Straighten the leg. Come back up, front and center. Unrotate both legs. Bring the hands into the heart. Reach around behind you, interlace, squeeze the knuckles toward the floor. And keep squeezing the shoulder blades toward the pelvic basket as you come over, all the way over, as much as comfortable for you. And then once you keep squeezing your shoulder blades toward the hips, see if your arms open in the socket and hands and arms toward the ceiling, or maybe even over toward me. Squeeze into the arms and hands and exhale out. Good. Release the arms. Shake out your hips. Good. And then heel, toe. Heel. You may be right where you need to be. For some of us, we want to heel toe more. We're going to go into goddess. So we want to line up our knees right over our ankles. Good. And your shoulders they can swallow your neck for a moment. Just let them swallow your neck. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, gaze out over your left shoulder. And inhale, come back. Just 2 sets. Exhale. Inhale, come back. One more. Exhale. Inhale, come back. And exhale. Inhale, come back. Lower the hips back a little bit. Let your neck be swallowed if you'd like. Take a nice inhale into the chest. And exhale. Straighten the legs. Heel, toe, toe, heel. Find Tadasana. Root down. Pelvic bones reaching evenly. Sit bones, tailbone, pubic bone, All four, creating a diamond, reaching evenly toward the earth. Breathe, smoothing out the breath. And then on our next inhale, eyes are fluttering open. Good, we're going to come down into that squat again. If you'd like to grab a block or a book or something and put it underneath, feel free to do that. As we squat, you're welcome to just sit on a block, on a phone book, on a book, on some pillows, knees and feet in the same direction. Super important. And if you aren't comfortable on your heels, come on up into the ball of the foot, finding stability in this squat. I'd rather you had a block and your heels on the floor than no block and on the ball of the foot, just because you will feel more stable. Relax. Super important place to relax. We're going to open the heart out to the right. Use your left arm and press against your knee pressing against the arm. Open, 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 open. And then hands back to Namaskar. And then opening out to the left. Use the right knee, press against the right arm. Press, open, open to the left, open. And come back into neutral. Good. So taking your block out of the way for a moment. And extending your legs right out in front. You may need to move the fleshy part off of your sit bones. You may want to take a little something and slip it up under your sit bones if your floor is really hard, like mine is concrete. Good. Reach the toes back towards you. Sitting up nice and tall, making a right angle with the body. Dominant hand on top, resting in your lap, thumbs gently touching. Let your shoulders soften. Legs are active, upper body is long, but not taut. Legs are active. Heels are on the floor, firmly on the floor. Pressing into the heels, pressing toward me. And then let go of your legs, just let go. Reach in, grab your quads, give them a little massage, pulling up the one a tiny bit in the middle because there's one hiding underneath it. And then other side, just a little bit of a massage. In all of those standing poses, we really work the quadriceps. Good. And now pull your knees out to the side as you take the soles of the feet together into Vajrasana, nobility pose. Sitting up nice and tall. So pull your chest in through your arms, belly to spine, breathing in the low part of the ribs. As if you had on a sports bra, you'd be breathing right into that sports bra. Good. And then we're going to do a little twist, a little modified twist. So pulling your left heel into the groin and taking your right leg back behind you. Good. And so your sit bones can be a little bit uneven now. It's not going to matter for this type of twist we're going to do. So initially just begin to open yourself out a little to the side and then to the other side. Just kind of, you can do hula with your arms, just reaching for a moment. Let your sternum do the moving. Not your hips. Your hips are just wherever they are. You're only moving your sternum from the rib cage. Good. And this next time you head over to the left, put your left hand down on the floor, Lift your body and reach up. Open, 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 open. And then bring your bottom back down. Lift up. And then with the sternum, one more little twist over to the left. Breathing. Bring your chin back over your right shoulder. And then release the twist. A little hula to the other side. Come back and forth a time or two. And then release. Good. So find our Vajrasana. Just opening nice and broad. Chest is pulled through the arms. Arms are long. And then pulling in the right heel to the groin, taking the left leg back behind you. As I said, this time your sit bones may be uneven, and that's okay, but we're not going to move into the sit bones. Wherever they are, from your waist down, just leave it. We're going to just do a little hula, showing our sternum to the left and the right. Moving in your ribs, not moving in your low back. Let your sternum show it out to either side. Breastbone showing to either side. Good. And then come back into neutral. Great. And then putting your right hand on the floor. You're going to sweep your left arm up and get really big and long, letting your whole left arm hang back beside you, opening on the heart, the chest. Open, open, open. And then have a seat. Evening out the hips. They're probably a little more even than they were when you started. And then twisting from the sternum. Again, waist down stays exactly where it is. Lifting, twisting. Breathing. Belly to spine. Breathe into the back ribs. Feel your whole right back scapula area expand with the breath. Taking your chin out over the left side, left shoulder. And then release. Good. Back into neutral. Soles of the feet together for just a moment. Good. So we've done a lot of poses today that really got our lymph moving. So we're going to invert because we want the lymph to be aided by our pose. We also did a lot of big poses, which we want the vayus to all come back into their proper space. So Viparita Karani Mudra, Topsy-Turvy Pose. If you have a block, you're welcome to use it with your hands only, as if you were doing shoulder stand with a little pike in the body. Or you're welcome to take your own inversion, your shoulder stand, your head stand. We just want to invert. I'm going to give an example. So if you know the pose, invert. Those of you who don't know the pose, please watch. You cannot watch the screen while you do this. It's dangerous to your carotid artery. Okay? So I'm going to lay down, and as if I were going to go into bridge pose, but I'm not. I'm going to put the block underneath my sacrum, and I'm going to wiggle on it until I'm sure my sacrum is stable and I have all the stability I need. And I'm not going into bridge pose, although someone could do that for inversion if you would so like. If you're on your menstrual cycle, no inverting. Period. No inverting. Lay down, take an extra 2 or 3 minutes of Shavasana, and feel the grace of the goddess within you. Draw your knees into your chest. You can do one at a time. And then take your feet up overhead. Initially, reach up through the heels. Reach, 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 and then relax. Good. That's all I'm going to do. So now feel free. Lay down. Take your block. Lift your hips. Put the block underneath your hips. Draw the knees into the chest, one at a time or both. Take the legs up overhead. Reach through the feet. Active feet. And then relax feet, legs, everything. Letting the length of the body come back down toward the subclavian vein on the left side. And letting the vayus rebalance, coming back into their place. All of our energetic body rebalancing. Breathe. Just enough breath to sustain. Soften into your inversion. Relax your jaw. And then slowly release one knee into the chest, then the other, and then reach one foot toward the floor, then the other. Lift off your block, shake out your bottom, place it on the floor, find your lumbar curve, keep your lumbar curve. Reach your shoulders back and up, and then extending the legs out into Shavasana, finding your corpse pose, breathing. Letting go. Finding any tension in the body, send the breath there, release. Slowly and gently, bringing your awareness into your breath. On your next exhale, take your belly down toward the spine. Feel it all deflate. And as you inflate, take the belly up toward the ceiling, filling up the belly. Diaphragm squeezing the organs out of the way. And exhale, belly receives. 3 more abdominal breaths. Belly up, belly down. Belly up, belly down. Belly up. Belly down. Fall into your natural pattern. If I could only teach you one breath, that's the breath. Abdominal breathing. Bringing online our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest. Taking offline our sympathetic fight and flight. Just falling into your natural breath. Right here in corpse pose, leave behind anything that's not serving you. Just let it go. Symbolically seeing it seeping out of your body into Mother Earth, you can take it, purify it into the fire, the core of the earth. Let it go. And then slowly begin to bend your knees, putting your feet on the floor, lifting your hips and shaking them a little bit, shifting them over to the side opposite me, and then drop your knees over toward me. Pull your shins away a little bit as if you were seated in a chair, and then curl yourself over those legs into this beautiful C curve. Placing your hand on the floor, begin to press away, nice and gently, coming up. Finding your comfortable seat on the floor. And just closing your eyes, resting your arms on your legs, your hands on your lap or your legs. Just letting the asana integrate. All the way through the Shavasana, the Garbhodasana. Keeping your eyes closed. Breathing. The breath is shallow, but notice it. Watch it in the body. Say to yourself, I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. Pace it, but don't control it. Just say what you're doing, not do what you're saying. Bringing your hands out towards your knees, letting your palms open up wide. And then relax the palms wherever they are. And then bringing the index finger and the thumb gently to touch. Gyan mudra, the mudra of wisdom, knowledge. Just letting the knowledge of these practices come in to your body, to your mind. Today, our meditation is going to be a little bit longer, but we're going to focus on those senses that we started our practice with. There is an element that corresponds to each of the senses. There is a mudra that corresponds to each of the senses. And we can think of the gross element itself. So we'll start with the most ethereal and bring us back down into Mother Earth so that we can spend our day grounded. So the mudra, akash, ether, space, thumb to the middle finger, and just resting the other fingers open if you can. It's the sense of smell, the earth element. Wriggling your nose, noticing any smells around. Earth representing the solidity within the body, the bones, the organs, the muscles. Outside of us, the rocks and the minerals, the trees, the buildings, the structures. Sense of smell, earth, element. I'm realizing I went to Earth and I wanted to go to space and ether. I think I needed to ground down through the very beginning. Your fingers are in ether, are in space. And the element there is space. And the sense is sound. Hearing the bowl, sound within the body, space within the body, space outside of us in the room. Sound and space. Ears to listen to sound. A larynx to make sound. Our next element, air, corresponding to touch. The mudra, the index finger into the base of the thumb, the whole thumb wrapped around the next joint. Air, movement in the body, the sense of touch, feeling a little breeze perhaps, noticing the breath moving in and out of the nostrils. Air moving through the trees, moving the oceans, inside the body and out. Sense of touch. We have our skin to feel. We have our hands to touch. We are a microcosm of the microcosm. Everything inside of us is outside of us. Touch, air, movement. Next is form, our sense of sight. Agni, the fire element. The mudra, the thumb touches the first knuckle of the ring finger. Metabolic energy in the body. Sun, wind energy outside. Form and sight, giving us feet to walk toward the form, giving us eyes to see. the sense of sight, fire, energy. And next is our sense of taste, the water element, touching the tip of the thumb to the tip of the pinky finger, resting the other fingers long. Taste the tongue and the body, corresponding to our reproductive organs, allowing humanity to continue to reproduce. Water element, liquid, blood and lymph, saliva in the body. Oceans and rain and rivers outside of the body. Water, taste. And our last, fifth element, earth, corresponding to the sense of smell. The mudra is the tip of the thumb to the tip of the ring finger. The other fingers opening gently. Solidity in the body, outside of us, structure. Smell, we have a nose. We have our excretory organs. Things come in, things go out. Keeping the movement of the earth. Solidity, structure, within the body, outside of us. Smell. Smell reminds you of so many things. Smells of your grandma, smell of a fresh rain. So much sensory impression through smell. Letting go of the mudras, opening the palms wide again. And then just letting the dominant hand on top rest in your lap with your thumbs gently touching. Letting your focus be on mind, manas, the recording faculty that assures us the memory of our sense perception. Letting yourself repeat slowly, Om, Om, Om. Bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Remembering your intention and repeating it 3 times to yourself. One more sound of the bowl. Offering our practice up to all sentient beings with special thanksgiving for family and friends and those around us who keep us healthy and happy and sane. Letting these offerings of your intention and our practice slip out of your mind, down into your heart, and symbolically out of your heart into the palms of your hands, and then let go off into the universe. Just let go. Bringing the hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Just a moment, I'm going to unmute. And then I have to mute again. And give you the possibility of unmuting. So now if you'd like to speak or ask a question, the only thing you need to do is hit your space bar if you're on a computer. Otherwise, just unmute and remute after asking a question. I've got something in the chat. I'm going to open it and see. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm so glad that you could come this morning. Any questions? I took the mudra and first part of the meditation into earth instead of space. I was in both places at once, and honest to God, I was in both places at once. I am totally sure of that. So I'm going to try and do that meditation because people have been asking for the 5-element meditation with the mudras. I'll do I'll probably do a 12-minute one to start so that you can spend 2 minutes on each of the elements in the mudra and senses, and then 1 full minute on your omness, your totality. Remember, Om in the Yoga Sutras represents Ishvara, and Ishvara is God. It's our place of surrender where we can just totally let go and let God. I'm so glad. Thank you all so very much for coming. But any questions about any of the practices we did? I promised I was going to bring down some books today, and I just now remembered it. So instead of waiting after I will go do it tomorrow, I'll bring some books because people yesterday wanted to know a little bit about where these practices come from. Baba Hari Das, my teacher, Babaji, taught us that we teach Ashtanga yoga. We teach the 8-limbed yoga, the royal yoga, the Raj yoga. But when you're really looking out into the world of how we teach the practices, we study and we teach Ashtanga yoga as taught by Patanjali, which means we cover all 8 limbs, which are the yamas or the restraints, or the niyamas, which are the observances, and asana, which are the postures, and pranayam, which is the breathing, pratyahara, which is the sense withdrawal, like bringing ourselves in, closing our eyes, looking at a candle, anything that withdraws our senses. And then the last 3 elements, the last 3 limbs, dharana, concentration, dhyan, meditation, and samadhi. So we try to teach those elements. I'd say we teach 5 of them very well, but the last 2, you're on your own. We can give you some concentration methods, but if you reach meditation or samadhi, you've done that all by yourself, we may guide you, but that's up to you. So we teach all of those limbs, but we teach hatha yoga practices to help you get there. So we teach asana and pranayam, and those are often described, they are described in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is our one of the main texts that we might want to use. The primer as well. Catherine's holding her primer up. Let me see if I can switch to her for a moment. This is the best book you can ever buy. there's the Ashtanga Yoga Primer. And that's a wonderful book available. You have to kind of not pay much attention to the poses in there because they weren't really paying attention to safety back then. They were paying a lot of attention to prawn. And I would like for you to do both. I'd like you to keep your subtle, your stula sharira, I'd like you to keep your physical body, your gross body, good and healthy as you innervate and play and experience and dance with your subtle body as you begin to realize the power of the subtle body informing your gross body. So the practices, the pranayam, the meditations, the how to do a little tiny ceremony on your own altar yourself at home, all of those amazing things are in that primer. And the next book you need is the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is the scripture itself, or the Guran Samhita, which is a scripture that's also really important. And then the Yoga Sutras, our teacher Babaji has the Yoga Sutras, 4 books dedicated to each of the 4 chapters of the sutras. And there are sutra groups. I know that at Mount Madonna, we're hoping that very soon, hopefully by next week, that I'm putting that in my universe. The sutra class that happens on Tuesdays will be shared. And then hopefully on Thursdays, the Gita class will also be shared. I'm really hoping that we can get that together at the land. Of course, I'm not at the land. I'm here in Guatemala. And wishing everyone the best wherever you are. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Catherine. I got that. Okay. Oh, and Yogeshwar, who's one of our yoga brothers in Salt Spring Island, will be sharing the Yoga Sutras on Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And here in California, we have a Yoga Sutra group. We're on book 3. We've been meeting for a little bit over 3 years. And we do ours on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. But this next week, so that our friends who are in France that started the group, we started the group 3 years ago, and Oni, my dear friend there, she and her husband Philippe, we want to have them join us. So next week we're actually going to do it, I think at 11. We said 10, but I think 11 my time, which would be 10 o'clock our time in California, for those of you who are in California. So we're trying to make sure that we all have a place to go, not only for practice, but for svadhyaya, self-study, someone to guide us and help us in these methods of contemplation, some good meditations that people can sit at home with and follow. Really, really hoping that that we're there for you. I hope. Let me see. Okay. Yes, Catherine will share the Zoom link when it's available. And she'll share that for those of you students who are on Populi and in her group. She'll share it with me, and I'll put it on my personal webpage. So if you'll go there, okay, just maybe look, if I'm not your friend yet, friend me so that on my you pop up in my Facebook, and I can send it to my Facebook people. Good. Any questions at all about the practice? Any questions about some of the poses we did, or any comments about how are you feeling after practice? Anything at all?
Ginger, I have a question. It's Jean.
Yes.
What is the breath that you said if you could only teach one breath, that would be the one?
The abdominal breath.
Oh, okay.
That's
Alrighty.
it. That's the one.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, well, I think if there aren't any questions, we can close. It's so wonderful to have you and see you today.
Ginger, can I ask you a question? Can you hear
Yeah.
me? It's Kamalesh, the other Kamalesh. The other day you were doing the seed sounds to the elements.
Yes.
And I didn't catch which one was for air. Could you tell me?
Yes. So lung is earth. I'm going to start at the bottom and go up for you guys. So lung is earth, and vang with a V is water, and rung is fire, and Young with a Y, like Y-O-U-N-G, Young, but just Y-U-N-G, is air, and Hung, H-U-N-G, is ether and space. And this corresponds with, there are different ways of doing it, different ways of saying it. This corresponds to the to a specific meditation that I'll have to tell you tomorrow what it really is, where you're envisioning the Sankhya, and you're envisioning at the bottom of the body for lung, you're envisioning a yellow square, and then for the water at the belly region, you're envisioning a crescent moon coming up, just kind of hugging your pelvic floor and your belly region. And then you're envisioning a red triangle at the heart. And then you're envisioning a hexagon, a blue hexagon at the throat region, and then a crystal at the crown region. Tattva Shuddhi, that's the name of the meditation. Tattva Shuddhi. Tattvas are the principles of the Samkhya chart that we're counting ourselves into existence. So those are the elements and the sound syllables that are used in that particular way of that particular meditation. And it has a little special Purush in it. It's a beautiful meditation, but it takes me about 2.5 hours to actually get through the whole thing. So I probably won't be taping that at any point in time. But there are parts of it that I love to draw from, like the visioning of those geometric objects, and the envisioning of the colors, and the envisioning. And there are many different colors. Back in the day, one quick story, I think you can do it 3 minutes. Back in the day when my kids were little and I was beginning to teach, and Babaji was making me do a lot of research that had been done a million times by a lot of other people, but he made me do my own as if it had never been done. And I thought it probably hadn't, but I was wrong. It had been done by many other folks, but he made me do it, which is a good thing for all those of us who have kids. Just you have to make them do it, right? So they appreciate it. So he had me study the books and look for some more information about the Vayus, these 5 pranic energies I'm talking to you about, especially when we're doing asana. And I had my kids draw the colors, because the Vedas had one set of colors, the Upanishads had one set of colors, and the Tantra chart that we had up in the place where we taught had another set of colors. So I had the kids draw them on this big old chakra man and drew all the colors. And then I took them to Babaji and I said, which of these colors do you want me to show the students? And he went, I was, what? He said, all 3. I want you. He didn't say anything. And those of you who know, he wrote it on a little chalkboard, but he didn't even say it. He just pointed all 3. And I said, they're going to be so confused. And he just nodded his head, right? And then he wrote on his chart, all good, all good. These are methods of revealed wisdom. Someone went into a deep trance state and got this information and shared it with us. So who are we to judge? We don't know. So if it resonates with you, try it, do it. That may be your way to samadhi. Okay. All right. I want to respect your time. Anybody else? Any questions or anything else today?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Could you quickly show the mudras that you did at the end, the 5-finger mudras that you were doing when we were meditating?
Yes, and some of you may just want to get a screenshot. So earth, let's go from ether. We're going to do it like we did today. So ether is the middle finger with the tip of the thumb, ether. Okay, air is the index finger to the base of the thumb, and the thumb wraps around, air. Fire is the thumb to the first knuckle of the ring finger. Water is the tip of the pinky finger to the thumb. And earth is the ring finger to the tip of the thumb, tip. Okay? Good.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Namaste.
Thank you to everyone. I hope to see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. These are also recorded now. They're on my Casa San Juan channel, but I think if you just go to YouTube and type in Ginger Hooven, you will get all of the ones that we've done so far. I think he's done, I don't think yesterday, I know yesterday's isn't up. It's a 1.5 day lag, but you'll find some practices there that hopefully you will enjoy if you can't join me first thing in the morning live. But I love having you live. I feel you across the ether. I promise. I promise. Have a wonderful day. Much love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ginger.
Have a good day.
You're welcome, everyone. You're so welcome. Everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Ginger, can I ask?
Okay.
Ginger, can I ask you one more thing?
Yes.
Some people are showing and some are not. I am not showing, not voluntarily, because every other day I have been. What is it that you do so that you show up on the screen rather than just your name?
Go to the side of the screen and down at the very bottom part of your screen and say video. Your video is off, so like tap on your screen.
Oh, I see. I see. Got it. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
And
My
now
iPad is at the top. So.
now we can, well, now I'm on gallery view. So there are two views as well. You can see just me on your screen, big on your screen, and that's speaker view, or you can go to gallery view and see everybody. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so nice to see everyone. I love seeing your faces. Antonia and Sylvia, we're all here in the same village, so we are really close in the ether. We are just not even a mile away from each other.
Hear the puppy barking.
And they're in the same house in different rooms.
Thank you.
There's no space.
Sending you all so much love. So much.
Bye.
Bye.